Hello everybody and welcome back to Farming Sim 25 and welcome back to our Sharon Center, Ohio potato farming empire. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight it's not about potatoes. No, we've got two big fields that we have to harvest today, and we have a little bit of a challenge. A little challenge from down the road. So you guys know we're in Sharon Center, Ohio. Well, up the road or down the road in Medina, we actually have a dealership, a case dealership, and they decided to send over one of their best harvesters, this Case Axial Flow AF11, to take on the absolute beast of the John Deere S700. And so we're going to have a little bit of a competition today. We're going to see which one's better. Right? Now, it's not a direct competition because the John Deere has a ridiculous header. Like, I mean, look at that thing. Look at that thing. All right, that is 19 meters wide. Right? This one is 15.2 meters. So the John Deere has an advantage in that sense. It gets to harvest an extra, basically 4 meters per pass, which is not quite fair. But there are some goods and bads to both of these things, and I want to kind of go over them. So yeah, let's take a look. Thank you to the case dealership for sending us up for our harvest today. It'll make things go a little bit quicker for us. But let's take a look at this beast. You guys have already seen the. Oh my God! Look at this thing. Not only there's just something about harvesters that just are ridiculous, right? But let's take a look inside, shall we? Look at this. Look at the interior of this thing. First of all, if I have to rate the interior of a John Deere versus an interior of this case wins. Period. Like, this case is so nice inside. It's so nice. Look at it. But yeah, it really stands out, and I like it. I like it a lot. I also like the fact that all of the buttons and everything are right there, easy access. Although I feel like you might accidentally bump a couple buttons here and there if you're not careful. But this thing also has, I believe, 600 horsepower. I could be wrong, but I think it's 600 horsepower. And this one has, I think, 600 horsepower. So horsepower-wise, they're basically the same, I think. Hopper-wise, I believe these are about the same as well. So both of them have about the same tank on them, which is good. But let's look at the interior of the John Deere. You can see, like, this gives me Toyota Camry or Toyota Corolla from the 90s vibes. All right, you got this. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of this. This off-white for everything is just so bland. It's so bland. I don't like it. Now, if you look, though, I feel like the buddy seat might be a little bit better in this than over there. So if you have somebody riding with you, they might prefer this over that. Though the stitching and everything, the extra color on the buddy seat over there looks nicer. I feel like this one is a little bit bigger. I could be wrong. But again, this one has all the buttons out front, which means you're less likely to bump the button when you're working on it. If I had to pick out one thing, but there's that. But yeah, this thing also seems to have a much wider armrest, whereas over there you had a little skinnier armrest, and some of the buttons ran alongside the armrest. So, in terms of layout of the buttons and the thing, I think I'm going to have to give it to the John Deere, actually. Having all the buttons out front and stuff means you don't have to move your arm. You just go from moving the gear shift or throttle, or both. I think they're both, actually. You go from moving that to being able to just shift your hand over and do all the other functions you need. Okay? So, if I had to give it, I'm going to probably give that one to the John Deere. Now, let's look at the headers and see what we can find different about the headers. Now, first of all, again, sheer size aside, John Deere's got it in the books. But, if you look, we're going to be using a lot of, like, drive shafts over here on the old case. Now, I believe there is some chains and stuff, but most of what we use is drive shafts. Now, I'm wondering, is it the same on the John Deere? There is a drive shaft there. So I guess, you know, maybe they are similar in that regard. A lot of hydraulics, as you'd expect. But this has some interesting features as well. It has a blow bar on it, which means that you're not going to have as much losses potentially as the case would have, because you're able to feed air and blow the grain that you're harvesting onto your belt and keep it towards the back of the belt. Now, depending on how much pressure you got, you may be accidentally blowing it over the belt, but I don't think that that's the thing. I think you can adjust the pressure and stuff to make sure that that doesn't happen, so that you're reducing the amount of losses that you actually have. But this blow bar should, in theory, help with not having to worry about losing grain out the front. And you can see this one doesn't have that. It's just a conventional thresher header. And you got your sickle bar cut here. But yeah, honestly, I'm going to stop yapping. Now, this one does go faster down the highway. This one does 24 miles an hour down the highway. This one does 20. So 4 miles an hour faster to get you to where you're going. You know, might be a big deal. One other thing about the headers that I like more about the case than I do the John Deere is that this case has a built-in transport system. So I don't need a harvesting head trailer, right? I don't need a header trailer. This has the trailer essentially built right in, and you just fold everything out of the way, and then you can go straight into using your thing. So for ease of use, I gotta go with this, right? Like being able to just fold everything out, hook it up, and go, rather than having to fiddle with a header trailer, especially a header trailer that's not long enough for this big old header. Yeah, so not ideal there. But that's enough yapping. Let's get this party started. Let's hear what they sound like. Let's fire this old beast up. All right. I mean, it's pretty quiet, but sounds okay. And it's already unfolded. I didn't realize that. Now let's fire this beast up. Okay. So from a sounds, this one sounds a little bit more raw. This one sounds a little bit quieter, maybe just fans is what you're hearing most. So as somebody who likes to hear the engine sounds, probably going to go with the case for that. But I could also see the you know, hours and hours of sitting in the cab, not wanting to hear it, sort of deal. Also, I'm a little wet over here because I did shine this thing up before we brought it out. But let's go ahead and let's disconnect the trailer so that we can connect up to the harvester. We'll swing this thing all the way around. Beautiful. Look at that. Now let's hope that this doesn't drag the trailer. There we go. Look at the size of that head. That header is ridiculous. Let's just be honest. All right, so we will go ahead and get this thing started. Let's go ahead and unfold this harvester. Get the hopper out. But you can see both of these have a pretty massive tank on them, so we're good there. But let's go ahead and set this up for getting online. Now we want to make sure that we do not have the straw swath enabled, because we don't want the straw. And we will set this up for the headlands passes. And let our helper start doing helping. And then we'll jump on the old case here. Pull forward so that we got plenty of room. Oops. Try looking out the front. And get her all lined up. I will say, visibility-wise, both of them are pretty visible. Although the touchscreen on the case here on the bottom seems to be bigger than the one in the John Deere. So maybe you might be able to get more information on the screen. But look at that suckered out. Alright, let's go ahead and fold up the wheels on the header. And we will begin. Now I'm going to start with driving this, and then we'll let somebody come over and take over while we continue the rest. But we are going to set ourselves on to doing everything should be good. 15.2. Now both of them harvest at the same 6 miles an hour, but obviously the John Deere will be harvesting a little bit more because of the fact that it is using a wider header. Get that down into the grain a little bit better. There we go. But this is going to be a massive field that we're going to have to harvest. One thing I did forget is we're going to have to grab the John Deere tractor, bring over with the trailer so that we can offload these things, because they are going to fill up relatively quickly. So I may actually go ahead and stop this, set it for our worker to help. We're going to have the headlands turned off on this one, and then let the worker go ahead and take off on this. And then we will teleport back over here, grab our tractor, get it out the shed. I did fill it up at the in between episodes. I noticed that we were about out of fuel, so had to do that. All right, let's get this thing over to the field. Yeah, you can see they're already almost full. And I'm assuming that that is the John Deere that's almost full because it's got the bigger header. It also started first. But you can see just how far away we're working now. It takes time to get to where we need to go. Like it really does. I think it's going to be a full-time job for me just to keep up carting. And they're full. Let's go ahead and figure out exactly where they're at. So yeah, they're about halfway up the field on the left flank. It's my fault for forgetting to bring the tractor over in the first place. This field is massive. It's over I want to say it was 77 acres. Let's look real quick. It is 61 acres actual field. But it's over 70 acres of actual land. And we will be extending this field to connect these two fields. I gotta remember, the AI seems to have missed some spots, so we'll have to clean those up ourselves. Fortunately, again, this field is longer than it is wide, so it should go relatively quick. We get this thing unloaded, and then we gotta go unload the other one. And he's on his way back, so his thing should be in the right location. And I believe it's 20,000 liters or so for both of these. Okay, 17,000. So this actually has a smaller hopper than the case does. And now they're full, so I got to drive all the way around the field and go over to the other one. I don't want to destroy my crops. While I have narrow tires, and it shouldn't hurt the crop, the trailer does not. So the trailer would make a mess of the field. We got to run over there and grab his grain real quick. Look at the size of this field, man. That is a big field. I just realized. Okay, never mind. It looks fine. I thought that the fact that we hadn't done the headers yet, or headlands over here yet, was going to be a problem, but looks like we're going to be okay. But we're going to have a lot of driving back and forth around this field. See how the offload speed feels. I feel like the case has a little bit better offload speed because it had more grain in it. I think this is 20,000 liters or 22,000 liters, somewhere in that neighborhood, and it seems to be getting it out of there a lot quicker. So maybe the offload speed of the case is better. Alright, we'll turn around and head back towards the other harvester. Lord knows we'll need it. We've already harvested 37,000 liters of wheat, and we're not even remotely close to being done. Look at that big green monster off in the distance, chewing through the wheat like ain't no business. That is a monster header. Even with the long pipe that we have, the distance between us and the header is not great. So you gotta be careful. Otherwise he'll end up having to stop. Let him make his turn. That way we're not in the way. Once he gets through the worst of it here, we'll go ahead, because he's going to be harvesting a very little amount on this last headlands on the left side of this, because apparently the smaller header had to get a little bit closer to the edge for down and back. So we'll go ahead and leave him to it. Get ourselves. Hopefully he doesn't fill up going on the way back. Hopefully he gets all the way through that and then turns around, and then we'll be able to be in the right position. We'll have to find out. But I'd say our new massive header is actually working out fantastically. Now we will have to adjust something for that John Deere. We're going to start him on the opposite side on the down and backs. So I'm going to shut this down for the time being. We're actually going to go ahead and fire this. And do this part ourselves. Because again, I don't want these tractors kind of like overlapping one another. I want one on one side of the field, one on the other side of the field. This one has a bigger header. So I want to make sure that we're in a position where we're not going to be like leaving grain behind, right? And it's almost full already. Alright though. We'll get caught up in a moment. This also give me a chance to clean up that one spot that the AI missed. All right, let's get this thing over to the other side. Clean up that little strip that they left behind, and then we will start this thing on the down and backs. And we'll go ahead and set this up, turn off the headlands. Hit this little strip right here. And they're full. All right. Jump over there. He did get turned around, so that's perfect. As long as we can keep the pipes on the right side, we're good. We can go ahead and shut this down here at the moment. Alright, let's get this trailer over towards the John Deere. With two big behemoths in the field, this field doesn't feel as big, which is nice. But when you're having to drive between them, you definitely feel how big this field is. Because it takes time. And time isn't on our side. No, it ain't. This is a beautiful summer day to be harvesting. Here she comes. Big green monster. It definitely appears to be leaving some grain behind, which is going to cause me problems when it comes to offloading. Huh. Well, that's a problem. I'm assuming it's going to turn around and come back and knock that out, but still. Kind of annoying. Especially considering its grain tank does appear to be getting kind of full. I wonder why it did that instead of starting with the headlands, or starting with the outside row. Yeah. So this is the John Deere that's almost full. Alright, we're gonna cut a path real quick. Alright. Let's go offload them. I'm sure the case is about to be full now. Yeah, I definitely feel like the case has a little bit faster offload speed. But now that we got an idea of what's happening, I think you guys know how this is going to go from here on out. So I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Railroad in from Medina town, green fired up from the home farm ground. Two giants met in a river of wheat. engines thumping like a heart with a beat. I'm the big case I aged clean from the shop. Dealer said show up early, let jaws drop. 50 meters wide, I'm cutting smooth. Watch this wheat line fall into my groove. Green sitting pretty polished and proud. But is it ready for this harvest crowd? I'm red and ready, cutting clean and mean. I'm green and gleaming, king of the sea. You big talking deer with your fancy stride. I've carried whole counties side by side. Both of us humming with no time to slow. Red versus green in the wheat field show. Back up case, let this deer speak true. I've been running fields that swallow you. 19 meters wide, yeah, that's my spread. I'm all through acres like a dealer mows bread. Demo days cute, but I'm built for years. I'm the iron backbone of these farm frontiers. Red runs smoother, that's no debate. Green runs longer, check the crate. Your maintenance costs a highway theft. At least my resale value ain't bereft. Dust clouds rising where the combines roam. Two-color titans far from home. I'm red and ready, cutting clean and mean. Now I'm green and gleaming, king of the scene. Two hungry giants in a golden sea, battling it out cause they both agree. Nothing beats harvest when the crops is fine. We just dancing in a perfect line. I'm red and ready, cooked on left and green and king of the scene. Two hungry giants in a golden sea, battling it out cause they both agree. Nothing reads harsh on the crops is fine. We dance dancing in a perfect line. The case dealer grins from the pickup door. Let the deer run, but watch my machine more. He brags about sensors, auto steer too. Buddy, this combine practically drives for you. Then deer's rep shows with a smirk so wide. Sure, that's impressive, but have you seen inside? Red's got comfort, smooth ride, top tier. Green's got the legacy, that's why we're here. Whichever runs hardest wins the day. Buyer walks home with the brand that won the hay. 40 acres gone and we're sweating steel. Wheat still stretching far as wheels can feel. Case digs deep with the roar so proud. Deer pushes on through the dusting cloud. Hydraulics hiss, cutter bars glide. Two mighty engines working side by side. I'm running harder than a 4th of July. I'm still cool, I wanna give it a try. Your cab's too fancy, full of screens and junk. I'd rather chill comfy than ride rattling and clunk. Field keeps shrinking under long day sun. Both machines swear they're the one. I'm red and ready, cutting clean and mean. I'm green and gleaming, king of the scene. Metal and horsepower never felt so right. Running wide open from dawn till night. Two rumbling beasts with the farmer's heart. Different paint job, same hard working part. Day winds down and the wagons fill. Both brands prove they climb the hill. Case holds strong with a steady bite. Deer keeps humming through fading light. Paint don't matter when the job gets tough. Good machines speak when the wheat's enough. Red and green running strong and true. Doesn't matter what color, they both make do. When the harvest sings and the gold winds blow, both are kings in the wheat field show. Raise your hats as the sun dips low. Red versus green in the late day glow.
Red or green, don't matter in the end. Long as the field's done proper, my friend.
Alright, so we are officially done with our harvest of our canola field and our wheat field. You guys will have to let me know which combine you think won today's episode down in the comments below. But that's all we got time for today. And I'll get these shipped back over to the dealer and thank him for letting us take a look at both of them, kind of put them to the test. But yeah, you guys will have to let me know which one you guys think won, if there is a winner. Maybe there isn't a winner. I can tell you what, if you guys saw the mess that just happened in the transporting of my header, then you probably know which one I think is the winner. But we'll go ahead and get this thing into transport mode. And yeah. I am probably going to go ahead and get rid of those tram lines off screen for you guys, so you guys don't have to sit there and watch me try to get rid of the tram lines in that field. But in the next episode, we will absolutely be harvesting our potatoes. So hopefully you guys are ready. If you like what I'm doing, punch a like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.